Hello and welcome back to another episode of Satisfactory. In today's episode, we're going to start kind of planning out and building my production floor for storage. So what we're going to do is build out an area over there. I just came over here to grab a whole bunch of concrete, probably too much. We don't need this much, but that's okay because we still have lots of overflow to go from our main line. So the area we have to fill up is just on the other side of those stink rocks over there. Whoop, land on this sucker. It's just on the other side of those stink rocks over there, and I'm gonna start filling it out. What I'm gonna do is line it up to this one and just start laying them down. I'm gonna go a little bit higher, I think. Actually, I should probably line it up with this place. Now that we have elevators, it's really easy to do. That way I can still run underneath it or drive underneath it if I need to, and have enough clearance. Might run into this little bit here, but that's not so bad. But we have three crappy iron nodes there we could take advantage of. This plant doesn't need to pump out materials. This thing is going to be running very slowly, very efficiently, so that it doesn't really take too much power up, and it'll slowly produce items because you don't really need too many, but it's nice having all of the basics on you so that if you need something, you can just come grab it, right? That's something we don't have. I've been pretty much making everything by hand or using the overflow from the old facilities that we had, and it's slowly starting to dwindle, but got a lot of alternative recipes and stuff to go. So I have to start laying this down. I think it's so nice and flat over here except for this one damn rock. So what I did when I first started this playthrough is I started a platform on top of that rock, and that's where this was all actually lined up and stays lined up too. But I'm gonna work off this building over here and come out this way a bit, give myself a nice little floor to work off of. I've thrown down a few foundations here. As you see, I just went off the building and out this way. Our three crappy iron nodes are right here. Actually, there's some. Oh wow, these foundations have been here for a very, very long time. Those are some of my original foundations. Oh, and there's one over there too. May as well get this all cleaned up. The less fluff we have, I guess, the better. They'll keep the game running smoother, right? Because we have so much going on already. But I did get enough here to get together 3 Mark II miners and plant them on these nodes. So we'll get those going, and we'll get them hooked up to power here too. Now, I'm still using these basic lines, and honestly, I really don't care because they're dirt cheap. And if I have to place a few more, I have to place a few more. That's kind of my viewpoint on those. But this here is a main line coming in, powering everything. And it eventually has to be moved. So I'm going to kind of bring it around to the back of the plant over here. And then get it hooked up to these machines and get them producing. There we go. Beauty. So this looks like a good spot to kind of line the building up to. Maybe go out one more. Let's check this out. I've also been using the smaller foundations, so it's easier to run and or drive under here if I need to. Whoops, kind of missed. We'll ignore that. Oh yeah, that's enough room to go up and then in. That'll work. Now apparently someone said that they also connect to the wall conveyors. So maybe the windows. So I'm gonna put one down here. And let's actually find out if they do that. Oops, logistics. There we go. We want to go upwards. Oh, they do too. Oh, that makes things so much cleaner coming into the building. So I could just go like this. Here, we'll connect it. Or what's actually better? I should connect it to a window. Here we go. We will go with a single conveyor window, of course. There we are. Whip out our belts here, just like that. Bring it down, and I wonder if that's enough room. Oh, it might not. We'll find out, I guess. Ooh. Oh, that kind of sucks, but we can place this thing on a different angle. That'll work too. So my solution to this was to actually just bring all 3 in. Oh, that one's apparently producing nothing. What do we got going on here? E to configure no power. Oh, damn. I forgot to hook the damn thing back up. Okay, well, that's an easy fix at least. Let's get that going. There we go. So all 3 lines now are coming into here and then going up here. I did learn something. I had to put the elevator down on the bottom first and drag it up to get the items to go up. And I couldn't clip it into this first and then go down because the items always wanted to go down. So that's a little bit of a new challenge, but it still looks a hell lot more decent than the spaghetti we had to do before. So I'm pretty happy with this. We got iron coming in. So what I got to do now is produce a whole bunch of iron ingots, and then we'll put the iron ingots down the line and then have the machines pick off the ingots and use them for whatever. So I'm going to create a little bit of a line here of assemblers or constructors. Which ones comes first? The constructors, and then we'll go from there. Or smelters first. We got to smelt this stuff. Alright, there we go. Nice and simple. We have 3 smelters going. Now 3 smelters going 100% take 30 per minute each, so that's only 90. But if we take a look at these, we are actually producing 120 each. So these things are producing way too much. We're not going to really worry about optimizing it right now. But as we get closer to like the final productions, because I'm going to leave this expandable so we can add more smelters to this row. So I'm going to bring out all the iron ingots, and then we're going to bring them down another row again. And then this is going to be our main bus line, and then we can smelt more things on different levels too, right? I can create another level, smelt copper if I need to. You know what I'm talking about. There's not too much in this area actually. There's a little bit of limestone too, but we have a decent amount of limestone storage, so I'm not really too concerned about that. So I'm going to create the bus line here and put some assemblers on this side, I think, creating the finished product, which will go down the line behind it. So this is a design I've come up with now. I love how these splitters and mergers actually fit into each other, because these things here are 3 wide. Perfect from exit to exit. So these things actually line up really, really nice to these lined up like this. So what I did was I first put in the mergers here, and then once I had the mergers in, I can slide the splitters in between if I hit the conveyor belt right. They actually clip into each other like that. So look how nice and clean that actually ended up being. I really, really like that. I'm going to use that, I think, on quite a few designs. But we do have 2 assemblers now hooked up to it. Unfortunately, those things don't line up quite so well. So occasionally, I think a splitter will be missing. But that's okay. It's not a big deal. We'll work with it. So this first one, we're just going to go through all our basics here. We're going to make iron plates in this one here. Bam, that one's making iron plates. And this one, I want to be making iron rods. Now, these things do not have to be producing at a huge quantity at all. So I'm actually going to go ahead right away and underclock it to 20. So that'll bring it down to 3 per minute, which is still more than enough in the long run. This one here too, we're going to clock that one down to 20. Beautiful. And then I'll make a line coming out of here, and these can all just merge on the same line. And then we'll get into smart splitters for the storage. I think the storage area is going to be more down that way. I was thinking of going vertical, but then I figured I can't place too many of those vertical things beside each other before it comes too clogged. But I think this will work out. What do you guys think? I'm liking it so far. Now, the next things actually we should look at making. Let's see what we should make for our factory here. So we can, oops, this one needs to be producing rods. I just need to look at it. So we can produce some wire. We do have actually a copper mine over there, which, yeah, I think I can just make a second level and some more smelters to melt some copper stuff. This will be iron, copper, and whatever else we add into the mix later on, or tear down and rebuild. You know how the game goes. So the next basic thing we could make is some screws. Sometimes I have to have some of those. We should have alternate for screws. Yes, here it is. Oh, iron wire. We don't even need the copper. We could just make it out of iron. Yeah, we'll use this for the iron wire. So that'll make our wire. We could use screws too. We do have the alternate for screws to make it right out of the iron ore itself, which is pretty neat. So I'm going to go ahead and make 1, 2 more machines, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, there we go. Now I added 2 more machines. Now we only have 3 smelters right now, which is way more than enough. So I just extend the line, put the splitters in. If we have to add more smelters, I can easily just punch this line out and put another one in really quickly. They made these splitters, they clip and stuff so much better. Okay, so this one here we need to turn into alternate iron wire, which is pretty cool. There we go. Look at that. We're making copper wire out of iron. Who would have thought that was possible? Okay, and then for the other one, we're actually going to go ahead and make screws straight out of that. Nice. Okay, next step is to make the output line. It's going to be full of random stuff. This should be fun. Okay, so there we go. We got wire, plates, rods, everything just sitting on the lines. And of course, I'm actually going to clock these ones right down to 20% too. We don't need to be producing a lot of it. So here we go, another 20. Okay, so I think that pretty much covers the basics for the iron stuff. Let's take another good look here. We should make cables. Cables would be a really good thing to make. Okay, well that's not too hard. What we can do is take the wires, which we can make out of iron, and put them right into cables. Okay, so let's try that. We got a little bit of room here, not a big deal. As long as everything ends up on this line here, we're good to go. I was using this as a launching platform, so I'm gonna have to split that off and then go into one machine and then into another and then into here. Okay, so I've got that done. I'm just trying to get this power hooked up to it here. I'm gonna put another pole there just so I have room for expansion later on. And this one here should be making our iron wire, which is flying into here. And this should be making our cable, which will come out that way and meet up with the main line. Oh, that's so cool. One thing I haven't done in this entire playthrough is make cables, but with that recipe, this is so easy. So that was nice. It fit in here all nice and tight. Everything is all 90-degree angles. It's fun to look at. There's some extra wires and stuff going down the line. Oh, look at that assortment of items. I'm loving it. Okay, so I kind of have to figure out how I want to start storing all of this stuff too. So I think for now, I'm going to bring the line down this way, really far down here, and we're going to kind of play around with different storage ideas, I guess. Okay, and apparently I got to grab some more belts too. Just a note here too, so this will take 30 wires per minute to build 15 cables per minute. I think I'm actually going to let cables beef up because I tend to use a lot of cables. That's one thing I use quite a bit. So we're going to take a look at this. I have it cranked down to about 47%, which is 31. I'm going to give 46%. If we produce a little bit too much, that's not a big deal, but that will save us on a bit of power. I may as well do these ones right now because I won't know the end results for those until all of these are done, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, so off to get some more conveyor belt. So we have a little bit of conveyor belt. Holy overshoot on that one. Here we go. Land on our end storage. Whew. Are these full too? Are these things even still... Oh, okay, it's not too bad. We don't have too... Well, we do have actually large amounts. A little bit of crazy amounts. We have a double storage here. The lines are full back here, and these ones are filling up. But that is okay. Until we have trains, I am going to be using tons and tons of encased beams. And if the day comes that this factory gets redundant, I'll take it out. This one's one of my favorites, so I really like how this one looks. The computer factory is pretty cool, but this one here, I don't know. I like this one. Alright, so I got to thinking, and another thing we need too is iron plates. So I went ahead and got myself an assembler together because I actually forgot the recipe. We have the alternate stitched iron plate, which takes 6 plates and 30 copper wire. Or we have the regular recipe, which is 4 plates and 24. Now, it's my understanding that this one's cheaper and produces more. So we're already producing copper wire at a reduced rate, and it calls for another 30 like that machine. So I should be able to crank that other one back up and then make plates, and then have plates go in here. So we already have this. I'm gonna have to have one more making plates, and then we'll feed both of those into here. I'm gonna have to make a little bit of room here. This is gonna be interesting. Oh, beauty, look at that. There we go. Oh, I love these things. Oh, well, that's not as straight as I thought it was. That is actually a little off. I was a little, a little too confident with that. But the challenge here is I had to go up and over this, so I'm like, I may as well go up. But if I place another one down, like I want to place in line here, it's going to go, like I go like this, it's going to go upwards, right? And that's not what I want. I want it to go in and come back down. So if I place it here, let's actually get rid of this. I should be able to curve into it fine. And, oh, shoot. No, I need to do that because it needs to know that that's actually the output. So let's curve that out. It barely fits in here. Just nice like that. Maybe another space. Looks like exactly where it was before. These things are going to be a little bit tricky, but I still 100% appreciate these things. Yeah, see, look how far off that is. Oh, that's not going to line up straight, and that's going to drive me, it's going to drive me crazy. What if I take it off of here and see how it fits into here? See if I can't fit it in beside it. Just like that. Still a little bit off. Look at that. Ooh, this is going to be so tricky to try to get lined up right. Okay, there we go. I think I nailed it. See where it shows the green line? Hopefully that is in line with the other one, which I think it absolutely is. It's connected there. Let's try the top over. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to. Oh, that looks a lot straighter. And we have items coming in off the line. Oh, nice. This looks so much better than the other spaghetti before. So much cleaner. Oh, I really appreciate these things. You guys have no idea. Okay, so I'm going to actually go ahead. We're going to crank this one back up to 100. Let it produce its max. That way you can keep this one going and this one going. But last step, kind of like peeling the paint off. Got to get these things powered up. There we go. Power to there, power to there. This one's going to be making our plates for us. And this one is making 15 plates per minute. And what does this call for production for our stitch plates? Here we go. It's going to take 15 per minute. Oh, that's perfect. I won't even have to adjust that at all. And it takes 30 wire. Oh, 75 per minute? Oh, damn. That takes more than I thought. So 75. And this one is producing 67. It doesn't even make enough for that. We can crank this down a bit, though. I mean, we don't have to be producing that much, right? So I'm actually going to crank our production down to 50% because it's making 7.5. So I can deal with 3.75. This math is probably way off, but oh, that's right. Should be 3.75. Look at that. Skippy math finally worked out. I did that in my own head, believe it or not. There we go. So this should catch up here eventually and be making those stitched iron plates for us, which we can then join into the main line and have a whole bunch of random stuff going. I almost want to hook this up into a container just to watch all the different stuff flow by. I think that would be cool. The other alternative is to actually make a smart splitter and pick off the plates that were coming off of this main line and turn those plates into the reinforced, but I don't think it was completely necessary. We have the room. Look how nice this turns out. Whoa, there's a little bit of leg. Let's get on top of this skinny pole here. Look at that. Love it. Everything lines up just nice. You go up and over things. Oh, it's not as easy as I thought it would be, but even being able to twist around the tops and the bottoms is pretty awesome. Okay, I'm going to get this last thing hooked up into the line, then we're going to mess around with some smart splitters. Now, in order to make those, though, but not smart splitters, I keep saying that, but it's the wrong thing. Programmable splitters. They're a little expensive at the moment. We need supercomputers and heavy modular frames. Motors aren't a big deal because we still have tons of those left over from our overproduction. So I'm going to have to make a few things by hand. I'll probably make like 7 or 10 of them. and we'll start kind of seeing how these things work, because these things are pretty damn cool. Programmable splitters. Alright, so I got together everything we need here. I got to about 6 splitters. We can do 2 storages. 2 storages is off of 1 programmable splitter, so it shouldn't be too bad. Still a little bit of a pain in the butt because I'm making these things manually, but our supercomputer is the next thing up on the list. But I want to have this done so I don't spend a lot of time manually making things for the supercomputer plant. You know what I mean? I'll probably do a stream too in between this sometime and go and get more hard drives so we can unlock more alternate recipes to make that supercomputer plant even cheaper. I want to see if I can make the supercomputer plant smaller than my current computer plant. Producing a similar amount of items. It'd be insane to get 64 supercomputers a minute, but it's possible. It's always possible if you really try. Okay, without further ado, let's go ahead and put our first programmable splitter in. Scratch that. Let's go ahead and put in our first storage container, and then we can line it up to that. Now, they still haven't. This is one thing I'd really like to see changed. We'll put our first one there. We'll give a little bit of space. And then our second one. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm not using the double storages because, well, we don't really need double storage, and this is much cheaper. And I can stack these, right? Like, I can make another row on top of them, which you can do with the double storages, but it doesn't. Storing 2 items in 1 container is just a little too much, in my opinion. I'm sure it'll become as a use at some point in time, but okay. So let's go ahead and put 2 of these things down. This is cool. I've never built these yet. Programmable splitters. Oh, this is actually quite an easy way to do it. What I would like to see, these actually snap to the same lines as everything else instead of like really... The small increments along the line is nice, but to have it snap to these things perfectly without having to like finally adjust them like this would be friggin' amazing. There we are. We'll put one in here and put another one down right there. Thank goodness this is a lossless game. There we go. Okay, so that should be good enough. Make sure everything lines up properly. You can see they're a little off just by a bit, and that bothers me a little bit, but we'll let it slide. We'll let it slide. Okay, let's take a look at here. So left output, what would be left? Is there a thing on here that tells you what right and left is? These look cool though. Like, look at all the controls on this side. I love that. So center output's pretty much everything. We don't need to change this. Right output. What do we want here? We want to select. We're gonna go plates. I think we're gonna put our basic iron plates into here. So let's see what right output is. Well, this isn't working out exactly the way I thought it would because we don't have any of these yet. So let's go ahead, I guess, and start grabbing items off the line. Oh, there's some already in there. Oh well, I'll take the excess out. Here we go, and try to get to a plate. I know we can get to a plate here eventually. I'll just have to like... Oh, damn it, I just picked up a plate. Too quick. Okay, so if I take out these here, that should put the plate through the machine. There we go. The plate went into here. So we told the plate to go into the right output. So facing west, I guess, is the right output. I don't even know how that works exactly. Oh well, it is what it is. The left output, what we want to do, I think, is our rods. We'll put our rods into the other side here. There we go. So rods will go that way once we get to rods. This one here, definitely cable. We'll put cable in this one here because it's nice and close and we have a lot of cables. So let's go ahead, put cable in here. There we go. And it should come out that side, and then the left side we will run our screws. I'm not really doing this in any order, to be honest. So I'm going to go and do this for the next few items, and let's see how well this thing sorts without getting clogged up. Because the problem is if we get one full and the items just kind of sit, what are we going to do with the extra items at the end? So these are all the challenges we need to overcome. And if you guys do have any constructive suggestions, please let me know down in the comments. Okay, here we go again. So in the right output, we are going to do the iron plates, or the reinforced iron plates. Where are you? There we go. And that should... Oh, I wonder what's actually in here. Okay, it's hard to tell. And what else do we have left? Oh, wire. We need to put wire into the other one. There we go. Okay, so we have nothing coming out of this one. Let's go wire. There we go. Ah, there we go. So everything should be being sorted now. What I'm going to do, I think, is just throw... I don't have any steel pipes on me. A storage container on here. Then I can just destroy whatever goes into it for junk. But I want to push these through here just to make sure that this thing is sorting properly. And we're not really getting too many items down this way. Oh, I'll just destroy it. There we go. Look at this. Okay, so it seems to be sorting out just fine. But I think the struggle is going to be when you run out of storage space, it's not going to be able to shuffle the items through if it gets clogged. I haven't really watched too many other people's storage stuff. I just really wanted to try out these smart splitters, or these programmable splitters. These things are so cool. Look at that, just sorting everything out perfectly into each container. But it's all coming in one line. I like how that looks too. A whole bunch of different products. So we got it all. We have room for 2 more things too. So I'm kind of liking how this is looking. We can do this layer by layer. I can do another level of this building. This is actually pretty shallow so far. We still have lots of room to move. And being able to move stuff up and down actually really conserves space too. This is so neat. I love watching this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys have a great weekend. It is Friday, 3rd video in a row. 3 days in a row. It's been a lot of work, but hopefully I'll have a move here soon and we'll be back on track with everything. Anyways, guys, if you liked the video, remember to hit that like button. I will see you in the next one. Stay classy. Always back up them game saves, and I will see you in the next episode. Peace out. Have a good one. Fist boop.